Welcome to Let's Talk Boundaries, where we challenge patterns, break cycles, and embrace healing. Today's episode, a lot of people are hurting, but not enough people are healing, dives deep into why so many remain stuck in pain. We'll uncover the barriers to true healing and explore how my new book, Triangulation, provides the answers needed to move beyond toxic relationships. If you're ready to step into the life you were meant to live, then this conversation is for you. Let's get started. Well, hello. This is Pamela Bird, your boundaries coach, and let's talk boundaries, shall we? I know it's been a while since I've done a podcast episode, but there's a reason for it, so stay with me. I have been preparing for my new book launch. That's right, my book, Triangulation, How to Break Free from Toxic Relationships. So, that whole thing, it takes a while to go through that, and it's kind of gotten me pulled away from my podcast, but I am back. And during the time that I've been pulled away, not only have I been preparing for an event that I have coming up, and it's called Toxic Interference, and it will be a live in-person event here in Atlanta on May 17th. So you definitely want to check that out. I'll make sure I put the link here in the comment section, but that's what I've been working on. And here's something else I've been working on. I've been working on interviewing people to be guests on my podcast. Not only that, I've been doing interviews on other people's podcasts to really get the word out about Let's Talk Boundaries and why it's so important to set healthy boundaries and why it may not be easy for people to set healthy boundaries. So I want to make sure I'm getting that word spread out as much as possible. So I wanted to take some time today to just share with you something that I've realized over the past couple months, and that is that a lot of people are hurting, but there's not enough people healing. Let me tell you what I mean by that. A lot of times I see posts in social media, and these posts will be from people who are sharing information about different things, different childhood traumas that people have experienced, how people are still experiencing pain from those childhood traumas. And these people, like thousands of people, are agreeing with them because it touches their heart. But what I've noticed also is that a lot of people are taking all this information, but they're not healing from it. So what do I mean by that? I mean, they're not doing the work. They see something posted and they say, yeah, girl, I hear what you're saying. You know what? You're absolutely right. And yeah, this hits home to me. I'm feeling this. Well, we have to be very careful that even when we see things that are listed, posted, that we can agree with and we can feel it in our heart, that we're doing more than just feeling it, that we're acting upon it and we're doing something about it. I've just done a podcast interview this morning, and it's heart to heart with Keisha B. And in that podcast, you definitely want to check her out. We had a conversation about childhood traumas and how they impact us as we grow up and how the residual effects carry on. And I think that is so important. Here's the other thing. Excuse me, because I had I've come down last week or this week with a really horrific cold. So you could probably hear it in my voice. I'm really hoarse. But praise God, I'm believing in healing and I'm going to be just fine. So I am healed in the name of Jesus. So if you hear this hoarseness, that's what it is. So I got to take a drink from my champagne glass. Oh, incidentally, this is just flavored water. But I want you to think about this because this is something I drink: my water, my energy drink, whatever I'm drinking. Yeah, even my champagne. I drink out of this. You know why? Because I celebrate me every single day. And you should celebrate you. Cheers to you every single day because there's something that you're overcoming and there's something that you're accomplishing every single day. We thank God that we're able to live and breathe every single day, that we wake up every morning. But you know what? That's not the only celebration we need to make. We need to look at ourselves and say, you know what? We're worthy. We're valuable enough. We're important enough that we're worthy to be able to celebrate. So make sure you go ahead and get your champagne glasses out. This one is a plastic one, but that's okay. Because that way I don't have to worry about it. Worry about cleaning. I can just go get another one. Or you just get your glass ones. Whatever you feel that makes you beautiful, that makes you feel good, whatever kind of glass that is. To me, it's a champagne glass because I'm worth it. And you're worth it too. And if you can see behind me what it says celebrate you. I know I celebrate me every day. You should be celebrating you every single day in whatever way that you do, whatever way that you can. All right. So just want to do that side note. But back to what I was saying, a lot of people are hurting, but not enough people are healing. And one of the things that God has called me to do is my purpose. I'm definite about it, emphatic, passionate about it, is helping women to identify what it is they need to identify that they are healing from, that they need healing from. Because as I said, I did that podcast interview today with Keisha B for Heart to Heart. And what came out of that was about how has your childhood traumas impacted your life today? And how has it impacted the life, if you have them, of your children? So she and I are going to be doing a podcast on my podcast channel about how to heal, how to help your children heal from your childhood traumas. Because how often do we not realize that we're passing those traumas on to our children? And, I was just saying, when we are growing up, when we're dealing with our childhood traumas, we're also dealing with life. So what that means is we're living our lives and we don't have the time. We say we don't have the time. And most times, as a single mom, as a single parent, we don't have the time because we're so busy raising our children, trying to make a living, making a living for them, making sure that they are okay, they're safe, and that they're learning things, right? But a lot of times we don't make the time to make sure that we have dealt with our own traumas so that we're not passing those on to our children. We get so caught up in our lives that we don't think about that. So that's why we're going to do an episode on that, because we got to make sure that as our adult children become adults, that we're clear with them, help them to understand where they may be mimicking or duplicating some of the things that we did, that as we look back in hindsight, that we wish we hadn't done. We actually have a book for raising children. It's called the Bible. But you know what? A lot of times, if we're not taught that, we don't go and reference that because we're just trying to make it, right? We're just trying to make it. So we don't. And the time that we get to deal with our issues is usually when our children have become adults, because now we got the time to do that. And we can look at the patterns of our past and realize now we got time to identify what's been holding us back so that we can move forward. And I'm really passionate about doing this. And a lot of times it doesn't bother me how many people don't watch my podcast, how many people don't read my books, because the numbers aren't what I'm looking for. You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for change. I'm looking for growth. And I'm looking for healing. And I'm looking for people who are willing to look at where they came from, look at where they are, look at the connection, but with the behaviors that may not be healthy behaviors that they're exhibiting right now. And so that's why I write the books that I write. That's why I do the podcast that I do. Let's Talk Boundaries. That's why I do the speaking engagement. That's why I do all the yap stuff that I do. I'm not doing it for me, and I'm not doing it to entertain anyone, because I'm not an entertainer. I'm a facilitator. I facilitate the growth process. And if there's someone who's experienced some childhood traumas and they haven't dealt with their traumas, then I want to help them to deal with it. The reason for that is because I've done it. I have done the work. And I like to teach people how to do the work. Now, it's easy for somebody to say, oh, you got to do the work. But if you can't identify what that work is, then that's where we get together and we partner, and I help you to do the work. And you know what? If you don't have anybody accountable to hold you accountable to doing the work, because it's not easy, then you're going to do exactly what those people do when they get into the gym the first week of the year, and they're not going to go back. Because first of all, they may be trying too hard, right? Secondly, they're not doing it the right way. And third, they don't want to do it alone. So it's the same thing with your healing. You want to make sure that you don't try to go hard on it. oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. No. And you also want to make sure that you don't stop, right? That it gets so hard you're doing too much. You don't want to do that. The other thing you want to do is you don't want to do it alone. You don't hire a personal trainer, you don't make the investment in a personal trainer in the gym, then you're never going to keep going. You're going to quit, or you're not going to get the results that you really want to get. Same thing with your healing. If you don't have someone to hold you accountable to that, especially when it gets hard, then you're not going to do the work. You're not going to do the healing. A lot of times a personal trainer will push you further than what you think you can go. And if you don't have a personal trainer, you're not going to push yourself. You don't have to wait for someone to help you to heal. But if you don't have somebody to hold you accountable to it, you'll continue to hurt. And think about what that hurt has done for you thus far. As they say, how's that working for you? Right? So you got to make sure that if you get to the point that you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're sick of the results that you're getting, if everybody else is causing these things and it's not you, you got to start looking at the patterns and see where you can claim ownership of your future, of your life, of your well-being, of your level of peace. And one of the things I'm doing in this event I'm doing is called Toxic Interference. And Toxic Interference is an event that I'm doing that's based on my new book. It's based on my book, Triangulation: How to Break Free from Toxic Relationships. Now, this event will be held in May here in Atlanta, in Marietta to be specific. And it's only 2 hours. Well, it's 2.5 because you're going to get a chance to network and to eat some food. But it's also going to give you opportunity to allow me to walk you through what I have in my book so that you can personalize it for you and your relationships, in your situations that are holding you back. I don't know. You might say, I don't have any situations holding me back. Okay. Or I don't have any people holding me back. Okay. Then if I asked you the question, where you want to be in the next 5 years and what are you doing to make that happen? Most chances, you know what I hear? Because you haven't done anything to move you further along to where you want to be in the next 5 years. The biggest reason why people are not where they want to be is because they haven't created a goal and because they don't know where they want to be and they want to kind of leave it out there. Well, if you haven't identified where you want to be, just leave it out there. What you're doing is called drifting. And if you read the book by Napoleon Hill called Outwitting the Devil, you will know exactly why you are drifting and that the enemy wants you to drift. Why does the enemy want you to drift? Because if the enemy So this masterclass that I'm doing is helping you to identify the people and the situations that are standing in the way of you moving towards those goals that you set for yourself. This masterclass is also about helping you to identify what that is, that goal, that purpose, so you can move in that direction and you can stop the drifting. If you think about your age right now, how old are you? What's your age right now? What is it that you've always wanted to accomplish while you're here? And please tell me that there's something you've identified. Because if you haven't, then it's important to identify what that is because you're not here just to drift. What is it that you really truly want to do? What have you been gifted to do? Everybody's been given gifts. My gift may not be the same as yours and vice versa, but we all have gifts, and our gifts are to impact the world in some way or another. I had another interview with a guest from my podcast. It's a gentleman, it's a doctor. We were talking, and he said, if you're not doing anything to help other people, what the F are you doing here? And you know what else he said? He said, someone out there is waiting for you to get your stuff together. Now, that's not the word he said, but I'm saying somebody out here is waiting for you to get yourself together so that you can help them to get through what you've already gone through. And that's exactly what I do. I can't sit back and take everything that I've learned to get me to where I am after all I've been through. I can't take that and just hold it into myself, keep it to myself. I got to share it because that's my mandate to help people. So in this masterclass and in my book, I'm going to help you to identify the distractions, the situations, and the people that are preventing you from doing the things that you were placed on this earth to do. How many times have we sat back wondering, oh God, I just feel inadequate. I feel incomplete. I feel like I'm not doing anything. I've been there. And then I had to look back or, well, what am I supposed to do? And then I look back at everything I've been through. And I realized, now I didn't realize this by myself. I realized it by doing the work. I did my journaling. I did my prayer. I did my reading. I did therapy. I did everything I needed to do to make sure that I was doing what I was placed on this earth to do. There's going to come a time in your life, if you haven't had it yet, if you haven't ignored it, that you're going to wonder, what was I placed here on this earth for? We got so many people that have left this earth, and we may think it's ahead of time. It may be, it may not. I don't know. I'll find out when I get to heaven. But I know a lot of them haven't accomplished the things that they wanted to accomplish. But you know what? God may say, you know what? They have. They've accomplished exactly what I need them to accomplish. And that's why they're no longer here, and they're in a better place. So I don't know. I don't know when we're going to leave this earth. I don't know when I'm going to leave this earth. But by golly, I can tell you this. I'm going to make sure I do what I need to do so that by the time I get to heaven, I will hear those words. Well done, my good and faithful servant. Now, if you're at a place where you're thinking, well, I can't, you come up with some excuse why you can't do that, then I want you to think about the drama triangle. All right. That's what I'm going to be talking about in this masterclass because that's what's in my book. My book is about the drama triangle and how it plays out in our lives every single day. I had another guest that I was on a guest on an interview on a podcast, and we were talking about my book. We were talking about the drama triangle, and she sent me a message the next day and said, oh my God, I found myself last night pulled into the drama triangle doing the triangulation, the name of my book, right? So it wasn't until we had that conversation that she was even able to identify that that's exactly what was happening. Guys, self-awareness is key. If we don't increase our own level of self-awareness, then we're going to continue patterns of dysfunction, of inadequacy, of drifting because we don't know ourselves enough. We got to know so much about ourselves, what we like, what we don't like, what we want, what we don't want, what we'll accept and what we won't accept, and why those things are in place. Because you got to know who you are, whose you are, and what you're placed on this earth to do. Once you know those things, the distractions that come along, the people that try to pull you into the drama triangle for their own reasons, whatever those reasons may be, they're not going to distract you, and you are going to be able to set the right boundaries to make sure that nobody stands in the way for you doing what you were placed on this earth to do. Are you listening? Because this is key. It may seem like I'm stepping on your toes, and if that's okay, just put on some steel toe shoes. Because this is stuff that needs to be said. I'm not here playing. I'm not here on this podcast just to talk or to entertain. I'm here to help you. to help you to get out of whatever mess you find yourself in so you can move along and live a life of freedom, a life of happiness, a life of joy, and a life of hope. We got to wake up every day with hope, excited about something. If you wake up in the morning and you're not excited about something, then it's time to take a look at where you are, what you're allowing to happen in your life, who or what you're allowing to hold you back from doing what you need to do so that you can have those things. I will tell you, anybody that's walking in line with their purpose has got joy. They've got hope. They've got peace. They're excited about life. Are you excited about life? If not, then we need to talk. We need to get together. We need to partner because this is something that you need to do. It's a journey. Like I told Keisha B today, I said, this is something that's going to take lifelong, right? Lifelong is going to happen. So you got to make sure that you are participating and that you are doing the things that make you feel good, that you know you're on the right track. Your gut will tell you, your spirit will tell you. And if you feel uneasy, if you feel uncomfortable about this, then let's find out why you feel so uncomfortable about it. Now, on the other hand, if you're somebody who you're on the right track, you're feeling good about where you are, and you know what your purpose is, then you need to be celebrated. And I'm going to give you a cheer right now because you're on the right track. I'm not saying everybody, I'm saying a lot of you. Like I said, when I see those posts and I see all the people that are, you know, praising and loving and clapping hands and giving emojis for all these comments about, how to deal with a narcissist, how to deal with childhood trauma, the things that are impacting your life, the people that are impacting your life. That's because those people say, yeah, girl, I hear you. I hear you. I experience the same thing. But then my question to you is, what are you doing about it? Are you doing the work so that, you know what? You could be one of those people making those posts. You could be the one standing up front of people, telling people your story so that they can get help because they have been waiting for you. So I'm not going to keep you long. I just wanted to take the time because I've been busy and I wanted to share my absence with you and to let you know that I got a lot coming up. I'm working on a lot of things. Like I said, I'm working on my book. It's now launched. You can order that book. I'm working on my live masterclass event in Marietta, Georgia. I'll put the link in there. You're invited to come to that, or just continue to listen to my podcast as I have more guests that are going to give some powerful, powerful information. I'm this is serious, y'all. I really want y'all to get this. So I've got the guests that are going to help you in one way or another to identify what it is that you can do to make sure you step out of the drama triangle, you step out of victimhood, and you begin to empower yourself to do the things that you need to do in order to fulfill the purpose that God has placed you on this earth to fulfill. That you are honoring your mandate so that when you get to heaven, God will say to you, just like He's going to say to me, well done, my good and faithful servant. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe for this podcast. And stay tuned for every event that I have coming up to be a part of it. My book, my event, my podcast. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube for my podcast, Let's Talk Boundaries, and share it with other people so they can get this and understand that I'm serious about helping you. I can always do complimentary sessions with you, coaching sessions, and even set up a way that you and I can work together to partner together through my coaching program. Also, there's e-courses that I do. I'll also put the link for that. I am busy. You know why? Because I'm serious and because I'm passionate about helping you to get from where you are to where you want to be, no matter what happened in your past. Whatever happened in your past, own it. It's you. And most chances are the reason you experienced it is so that you could overcome it, you could heal from it, and then you can go on and share it with somebody else so they can heal too. been a joy. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And I look forward, if you have any questions, put them in the comments or feel free to leave me a message at that's THEE, boundaries coach at gmail.com. This is Pamela Bird, your boundaries coach. And let's talk boundaries, shall we?